What's going on, guys? I am Johnny Wolf. I am here with the Latin king of dad jokes, Mr. Spanish J.
Hello, hello. Not actually a Latin king, so please don't be scared.
but uh, but yeah, he does tell some good dad jokes. Let's
I
hear
do.
one.
Sure. Let me give you a different one.
All right.
W- what do you call dangerous precipitation?
What?
A reign of terror. But
Ah, 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 ah. All right. So today we're going to spend a half hour discussing Attack on Titan, the entirety of the anime, the manga, as well as what we hope to see in part 2 of season 4. And we kind of had a discussion already, but I messed up and I didn't record his audio, so now we're starting over. But
it's all right. We'll do it all over again.
Yep. So key points: characters, development, plot, and what we expect to see in the anime. But yeah, so what we started with was Gabi and how she is either rightfully hated or wrongfully hated, but at this point it's really just a matter of opinion. But if you're one of those people who came after the voice actors for Gabi, you suck.
Agreed. 100%.
You need help. Go sit in the corner and think what you've done. No chocolate milk.
You have to remember that these are not like real voices, like real, like they're 2D characters.
Yeah.
Part of a story. That's,
like you can hate the character, but don't hate the actor for doing their job. Like,
yes, and when they've done a great job. I mean,
yeah.
if you've gotten to the level of hating them, then they've done an amazing job. However, there's no reason to go after someone who just does their job.
Right? Like
it doesn't make sense why you would attack somebody who is just doing a voice acting of a character that you may or may not hate. Like, what if people hated Levi's voice actor? You gonna go after him? Obviously, no one's gonna hate Levi,
but yeah, and that's another thing. Like, people are like, we talked about this earlier. Like, people are wrongfully hating like the 4th season for all the wrong reasons. Like the animation was actually really good for what they had within that time window. And Mappa had a lot on their plate, if y'all didn't already know. Like, they were carrying Anime 2020 for a good bit.
They really did. They were the GOAT of 2020 anime, because even though like other animes came around, nothing really hyped the anime community like Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, and they're going to be behind Chainsaw Man coming up soon. So that I have that to look forward to.
I can only imagine what they're going to do with, like, they with Jujutsu Kaisen, they haven't missed at all.
Yeah.
And I know that people say that the animation on Attack on Titan isn't like the best for season 4. I'm sorry, let me state that, but you have to understand that they had a year to animate like battles and things like that, and like all these characters. It's not something that you can just, all right guys, we got it.
No. Like, they were doing what they could with what they have on business hours. It's not like they had 24/7 to do this. People need to go home and see their families. Like,
no, they don't.
What the
Pete, it doesn't matter. It's what I want. Yeah, but like the people who were like, Mappa, you're ruining this, stop it.
Like, no, they're not. They literally saved it for us. We almost didn't have a 4th season for like years, but they went to Mappa first, and then Mappa said no. They went back to Wit. Wit said no again, and then they went to like so many other studios, and after like a month, they went back to Mappa, and Mappa said, you know what, we got some free time now, so let's help you out. Like
exactly. Let's help you out.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, this can be a conversation all on its own about how not just the anime community, but like we as a community in general have become so entitled that we're like, oh, it's got to be about what we want. No, it's not. Like,
no.
I don't know. It just it irritated me so much to see them get so much hate over something that they said, we'll help you out. We'll do this for you. Not because we want to, but because, we think it's the right thing to do.
And they did the best they could with what they got. Maybe the animation wasn't perfect. Maybe it stuttered a couple of times.
It's all right. Keep going.
But yeah, maybe it stuttered a couple of times. Maybe the 3D CGI wasn't the best. Maybe they moved too slow. But hey, it worked for what it was. Like, especially with Aaron as the attack titan, with Zeke as the beast titan, Ryan as armor titan, the way he decimated those trains across the wall,
That was amazing.
That was amazingly put together.
Like him running, to like just sit there. I mean, I'm not gonna say that, other studios couldn't have done that, but like for the amount of time that they had to come up with something that well done and like beautifully like just portrayed was really really good. I don't get why people are hating on
the detail on every single one of the titans was just absolutely phenomenal. Especially the jaw titan, Galliard's jaw titan.
Yes,
that was beautiful, and
I love,
and that makes me excited to see Falco's jaw titan.
Yes,
like
very much so.
Because Falco's jaw titan, and for those of the manga readers that don't remember what I'm talking about, that's the one with wings. Which reminds me, Falco could not have a better name,
right?
Like, we call him Falco. It's like bit of foreshadowing. and that's another thing with Attack on Titan, the foreshadowing. We talked about this earlier, and this has been a huge like thing with the Attack on Titan community. That scene with Ymir at the tower, the way how she held her hand to her mouth.
That scene when she, the first time I ever watched that, I remember watching it for the first time, where she had that can of what was it that she had, a can of halibut?
Oh, herring.
Yes. And
yeah,
she could read the words, and it was one of those moments where like he knew that she knew that he knew that she knew.
Yeah.
And when you watch it for the first time, you're like, all right, something's up. Like, what's happening?
Like, and the biggest thing for me was like, herring is a saltwater fish, and there's no oceans within the walls that I know of. So how did it get there?
Yeah.
And like the foreshadowing element of this series is insane. And another thing like that, remember the flashback when Eren saved Mikasa from those human traffickers, and like Grisha came there, and then he was like, Eren, do you realize what you've done? You just killed people. And then Eren said this right here. He said they weren't people. They were just monsters that looked like people. And Grisha's reaction to that, he said, Eren, don't talk about people like that. And that had to have been a callback to his history in Marley.
It must have been.
It had to have been. That triggered like some flashbacks for him right there. But then at the moment he was like, I didn't know how else to save her. Like, the way he immediately sympathized, like, that was probably in resonance to what he did, like with the Rice family.
Yeah.
Like, cause he knows he shares the guilt of murder, and like his son, he's just like, you are my son, like, type moment.
Yeah.
And like God, like, the amount of foreshadowing is just insane.
Another scene that pops into my head is that at the end of, like, towards the end of season 2, where Ymir and Eren are captured, and Beltord is having a conversation with her.
Beltord? Bertolt. Oh.
Yeah, Bertolt. He's having a conversation with her and saying, do you remember what happened when you woke up? And Eren is passing out, and she's like, well, I kind of remember. And he's like, how long were you wandering for? 600, like something like 600 or 60 years or something.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, wait, what?
That's the callback to eating the brother.
Yes. The first time you watch it, the first time you ever watch it, you're like, what are they talking about? Like, you don't, because my wife watched it, and she had to rewind it 3 times, and it took all of me to not tell her what was happening, because she was like, what's happening? I don't understand. And I go, I can't tell you. Like, and then
Attack on Titan is just one of those things. Like, the rewatch, like, it's not even a rewatch. It's just a reanalysis. Like, all you're doing is just going to be, like, looking for the hidden clues. Like, write that down, and be like, it's not even a rewatch. Like, it's, like, the most unrewatchable anime for the best reasons. Mm-hmm. Like you
don't rewatch it to rewatch it. You rewatch it to find all of the things that you've missed.
Like, unless somebody clubbed you with a rock and you have amnesia, there's there's no true rewatch for that anime. Like, no. Or reread for the manga. Like, jeez.
No, and that's the thing. Like, if you finish all the chapters, if you got to 139 and you got to the very end, and you rewatch the show, you're literally it's like you're watching a show all over again.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you know everything that's going to happen, but now that you have the knowledge of like what's going to happen, you can pick out all of the little tiny itty bitty things.
It's such an incredible series.
Yeah, like
and the genre flip. Let's not forget that. It literally flipped genres over the span of 3 episodes. It went from a post-apocalyptic survival story to a political war thriller. And the only thing that gave us that was the absence of information. And every moment, every bit of information, it felt earned. And that's what made this story feel so genuine. Like,
I loved we had a discussion before. My wife and I rewatched the series because she was watching it for the first time, and seeing Connie's mom, I was like, now I know how that happened. I get how that happened now. I understand. But when you're watching it for the first time, you're like, what the hell is happening? How did they get in there? Why is there no hole in the wall?
Like, why is she just chilling over this crumbled house? Like,
yeah, like, how could she have gotten there if she can't walk?
And that was another thing, like, the way Connie popped off when he thought about feeding Falco to his mom to bring her back. Like, that right there was a good Connie moment. Like, God, was that good for his character. Like, that was just...
The whole series in general was very, very well done. Like, the people who complain about it are the ones who want a happy ending. Now, I don't know if you know, but and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but most films in the world have open endings. Most films, they always end without like coming complete circle.
Yeah, it's ambiguous. Yeah.
Most films that happen here in this country have to have full circle because we have become a society that needs to have closure, that needs to have something. And if there is no closure, there's always a part 2. And this isn't one of those things. This is what it is. The ending is very much open because they, like, in chapter 139, they do leave it open, and they're just kind of like, this is what's going to happen and this is where we're going, and you can leave it up to you.
And even then, that's like the biggest thing with the ambiguous ending of chapter 139. Like, it is ambiguous and it's not. It's ambiguous because, like, it just cuts off right there. We don't know what happens next, but that's like, it's really easy to figure out what happens next because Aaron basically wanted it to set up so that everybody he cared about the most could lead happy, normal lives without the threat of Titans or persecution on Eldians. And that's what was set up.
That's literally what happened.
They went on, they lived their happy lives. Like, it was really easy to figure that out. Like, people complain about ambiguous endings. Like, I remember fighting for something like this with, like, the Dark Knight trilogy. You ever seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ambiguous ending of the Dark Knight trilogy, and people were like, so no sequel? This trilogy suddenly sucks now. Like, no, it doesn't. It's obvious what happens. Like, Bruce Wayne goes off and lives and finds a life with Selena Kyle, Catwoman, and then John Blake, the Robin guy, he goes on, finds the Batcave, and pretty much lives on as the next Batman.
Exactly.
And that's what happens.
But people don't want that. That's the problem. People want full circle. They want closure. They can't. It sucks to say because it sounds really, really like shitty, but they don't want to have their own free thoughts. They want someone to think for them.
Like, you can't get lazy with your imagination. Like, if that were the case, we wouldn't have Attack on Titan to begin with.
We wouldn't have a lot of anime.
Yeah. Like, we wouldn't have all this good shit that we know and love. Like, I have a lot of examples on my wall behind me. Like, but jeez, like, the way people just love to argue, it's upsetting. Like, and especially with Gabi's situation. Like, we talked about that earlier, like, her and the voice actors and, like, her character. Like, I'm with people for not forgiving her for killing Sasha. Mm-hmm. And because, like, Sasha was the comfort character. She was literally the happy-go-lucky girl, at least when everything was okay. When everything was okay, she was the happy-go-lucky girl. But when shit hit the fan, she knew what to do. She definitely knew what to do.
When the Colossal Titan showed up again, and what was it, Marco? It was Marco, right? Marco got like knocked out.
Yeah.
And she without hesitation, even Mikasa was just sitting there looking at Marco falling, and Sasha just let go of her cable, ran down the wall, and tied her
Just
cable
zip.
instantly. But she's also the one who's like, guys, I stole some meat and we're gonna eat it.
Like,
and
for real.
amazing. Like I feel like everyone hates on Gabby because Sasha was the most relatable character.
But that's like, if anything, that just shows you how good like the character building is. Like, they built Sasha so that everybody would love her, and then guess what? Pulling a Kamega kill, just kill her off. Just yeah, terrible analogy, but
no. The terrible one would be like, yeah, you know what? My name is Robert Kirkman, and I'm just gonna kill off whoever you like. It doesn't matter.
No, dude. But yeah, like Gabi, like, but at the same time, I completely understand why she did what she did, but that doesn't mean I have to forgive her. Like,
no, I mean,
yeah.
If again, spoilers, if you haven't read the manga, she's still alive.
Yeah.
She's living well, while
she lives completely throughout the end.
She lives totally fine.
And Falco confesses his love for her.
Yeah. Although there was that one scene where I'm not sure, like he tried to give her a hug and then she like suplexed him.
Oh no, he jumped on her and they both fell down. It was like,
okay.
It was like,
it looks like she went to go suplex him.
It was like a Nicholas Sparks love hug like type deal. But yeah, but that actually made me happy that she got like a little bit of redemption with Kaya, and the rest of her family, like that she got that. I was glad that she had that moment, but at the same time I still don't forgive her.
I agree. I don't forgive her. Like I still to this day do not like her character. I don't like, I mean, let me rephrase that. I like her character. I just don't like her. Like she's awful.
Yeah.
She is exactly what we said before in a previous conversation.
Yeah,
the Eren.
Yeah, she's the reflection of Eren. She's like Marley and Eren. She's the answer to the question, what if Eren was born in Marley? That is Gabi. If Eren was born in Marley, he would have been trained as a Marleyan soldier. He would have been brought up to, fight the bad Eldians. He would have been, he probably would have inherited a Titan altogether anyway. But yeah,
more than likely. And it's interesting because when she finally makes it to Paradise, and I forget the name of the girl that Sasha saved.
Oh, Kaya, yeah.
Yeah, Kaya, thank you. And she was like, well, what did my mom do?
Yeah,
Gabby was like, well, you wiped out so much of humanity. And she goes, okay, but my mom was born here, like in within these walls. So can you please tell me what she did? And she goes, yeah, you ruined people's lives. And she goes, okay, but what did my mother do? Why was she eaten? What happened?
Like, that shit happened thousands of years ago. What does that have to do with the people now? Like, that is a callback to what's going on in our society with a lot of peoples.
1,000,000,000%.
Like, if that, like, people will agree with that and be like, apply that to modern day society. And like, there's so many political themes that Isayama put into this, and it conveys so well because we all know that it happens in our society.
Don't bring politics into anime.
Like,
shut up.
Like, it's like, I'll do what I want. Isayama was like, hold my sake. Like,
he's like, I don't care. I do not care. Just call me Robert. Again, we'll call me Robert Kirkman.
But yeah, and also Reina's character, like the way he was built, like, and like I see it from like going back at the earlier seasons, looking at his character, the way it shifted, and when Jean brought up Marco in front of Reina, the way he flinched so hard, he flinched harder than anybody else in that scene. Like, I know that meant something because I don't remember seeing both of them on the same screen at all.
No, and when you find out what he did,
and then you look back at that, just crucial.
The one thing that I will say about Reiner is he is probably one of the best characters in the whole show. Yes, everyone loves Levi. Yes, everyone loves Mikasa. Yes, Erwin, all the main characters, we get it. Reiner, to me, is one of the best characters.
Like,
mainly because when he was in the tower, and what's I always call him Bel Torto.
Oh,
'Cause I watched
Bertolt.
him. Yeah,
Bertolt.
Bertold.
People call him
He
Birdie for short. So
Okay, so Birdie, he says, "Yeah, you're not a warrior anymore," because he like smugly says you're getting involved with these people, and he is so involved with them that he just forgets. And I don't know if he forgets so much as he wants to suppress it, because he's like, these are my fucking friends.
like for real.
Like, I love these people, but I shouldn't be loving these people.
And when he's like running with Bertolt and Aaron in armor titan mode, you know, with his hands around his neck,
Yeah.
and he says, "I just want to go home." Like, what do you mean home? Like you're
Before
from
you
this
know.
island, right?
Exactly.
Like, and I'm like,
Before
okay,
you know, that you're like, wait, what?
and that's the thing. That herring can, that can of herring, that had to have been the best red herring in storytelling existence. Like, literally.
No question.
No contest. Literally the best. It was the first hint of a world beyond the walls.
Yep.
I mean, apart from Armin's storybook, because, you know, that was a storybook that was written by somebody in the walls. But that herring can, that had to have come from out of the walls, because herring's a saltwater fish, no seas within the walls. Like, seriously, no contest.
I love his character because of just the trauma that he has on how he was the reason why Ymir ate his friend. He was the reason why they're still stuck there. He was like, he is so much of, yes, we do know that Aaron is the majority of like the puppet master, and he pulled up almost every single string in the whole thing. But the inner conflict that he constantly had was like, you know, he told Annie, he was like, hey, take his stuff off. Come on, we gotta figure this out. We gotta get new, and she sat there painfully taking his gear off while Reiner was holding him down. And not even like minutes later, he comes back too, and he's like, wait, why is my friend being eaten?
Like, for real. Like, he that was like one of those, am I a Marleyan or am I an Eldian conflicts? That was like the biggest struggle with Reiner. That was like one of Reiner's biggest conflicts, like deciding whether he's an Eldian or a Marleyan and having to kill for the sake of Marley.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but I'm killing my own people. Like, he says, I'm no better than a monster. I'm sick of this. Please just kill me so I don't have to live with this pain anymore.
And he can't die. I mean, he can, but he has the basic human instinct that you want to just keep living.
Yeah.
And like, that's just so difficult. Like, he's lived with these people who are genuinely his people, because he's not a Marleyan. He's never going to be. You know, when you find out that his dad like didn't give a shit about him, you know, he's Eldian through and through. And then they're like, hey, remember the mission.
And
remember the mission.
And what really got me was like the fact that like he, you know, he's a honorary Marleyan Eldian, but which means he knew the truth of the Titans of Paradis the entire time, which is why I saw him struggle. Well, not so much struggle, but like stutter to like kill Titans.
Yeah,
and that was. And one thing that always weirded me out was when, like, Annie, as the female Titan, was chasing them while they were on horseback. He was like, nice ass for an abnormal. Like, dude.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. That's kind of sus, bro. Like,
that was one of the coolest, like, revelations that you had when you rewatched the show.
Like, for real.
He wrote where Aaron was on her hand. And you're just like when you rewatch it, you're like, holy shit. This is really like, that's really what happened. And then, but like, he just dips and grabs Armin and like pretends like he's a good guy. But is he really pretending to be a good guy? Does he really care to save Armin? You know, like.
And what I want to know is if Aaron did some sort of like, you know, founder Titan manipulation for her to like put Armin down and just run off.
That's true, but I don't think. Oh no, because the founder Titan can go back and forth.
Yeah, because
yeah,
the founder can transcend time.
Yeah.
And like all the Titans are connected by the coordinate.
Yes, exactly.
So
like, did he control that to save Armin, knowing that Armin was gonna like
inherit the Colossal? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's crazy.
It's obvious that he wanted to protect Marlin by any Armin by any means, so that way he could inherit the Colossal Titan, become a part of the battle plan for the assault on Liberio, and basically just play his part in, summing everything up and like living the happy life.
He did an amazing job. Like there's no question. And the people who don't like the way that it ended and are trying to get a petition for him to do it again just need to stop. Like
y'all just need to go outside and touch some grass. Like
yeah, exactly. Go outside, touch some grass, bring all your manga volumes, and then just reread them again.
Like for real. Just
maybe take notes.
Just be like Mikasa and sit under a tree and read those volumes.
Exactly. And just enjoy the fact that like you had something that like just totally mind effed you.
Yeah. And like the amount of foreshadowing is unparalleled in this series. Like there's so much that can't be beat about this. Like if Isayama decides to write something else, like what can he do to top this? Like I fear for how much hype my brain can contain if he comes out with something else.
Like there's not much more that you can do to like,
yeah,
top yourself on this one.
Like literally it was just like detail after detail after detail, and it was like a domino effect of foreshadows, like between Ymir with the hand bite and Rhina and them, the Marley and Eldians, all of them just, prancing about Paradis, focusing on their mission. And, like, the herring can. And we discussed this before, Eren saying that the people who kidnapped Mikasa were just monsters that appeared human, and the way Grisha lashed out at that. Like, in the manga, he actually slapped him for that. And he said, he said, don't talk about people like that. That was clearly a callback to his life at Marley in the internment zone. Like,
yeah, because they go, you're monsters, you're devils, you're this, like,
and that
it's. Go ahead.
But yeah, and that was like part of the foundation for Zeke's euthanization plan on Eldians,
which in reality is the worser is the worst of the evils.
Yeah, it really would be, because like
the two things.
Yeah, because with the euthanization plan, Eldians would be wiped out completely, and basically you're just letting the Marleyans win.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what he wanted to do, because at the end of the day, he just wants peace for his people without like any more wars. And throughout the next 100 years, there would just be no more Eldians.
Yeah, and he truly believed that Eldians could never live in peace in the world. But Eren came up with a solution. He made himself into the bad guy so that the Eldians of Paradis would take him down, and then history would see them as heroes. No more persecution of Eldians.
Mm-hmm. Although I'm sure there probably still would be.
I mean, yeah, there will probably be that handful that will be like, it's Eldia's fault that this happened in the first place. But it doesn't matter if you turned on your own kind like a bunch of animals. Like, there's probably going to be those assholes. But the majority will most likely see them as heroes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so crazy to think that in the middle, towards the end of season 3, is what started getting the ball rolling for all of this. It was like, let me touch Historia's hand. Holy shit.
Like that.
This is what.
Yeah, like that complete genre flip from that moment. And not only that moment, like it was like over the span of 3 episodes, from finding the key to the cellar. Well, they didn't even really need the key because Levi just kicked that shit down. But and the unlocking the cellar, unlocking the secrets to the world outside of the walls, the truth of Zeke and the Marleyans within Paradis, the infiltrators, and the moment where Historia's hand zapped him with all those memories.
Yeah, like it's the whole thing is just, it's very, very, very well done. I cannot say anything more positive about it, and it's so frustrating to see that people just want to find negativity with it. Like, you're like, why?
This will definitely go up in history as one of the greatest series to ever exist. Like,
I agree.
I'm not gonna say that it's flawless, because there's definitely a lot that could be changed. Don't get me wrong. Like, from a general standpoint, there is a lot. But as a series by itself, it's perfectly fine by itself.
No question. Like, I don't know. I feel like just people will try to find anything that they can to hate on something.
Like people love to argue. That's just basic human nature. I mean,
Yeah, and that's fine.
that's portrayed within this series.
Yeah.
If anything, they're proving Isayama's points about humanity and its flaws.
Yep.
That's basically what this series is. It's a metaphorical representation of humanity's flaws.
1000%. It's just like you said, people will find something to argue about, and it's great. Like, you can have your own opinion.
Yeah.
Like, you can, like, you are totally entitled to it. I will do anything in my power to respect it. Like, but
yeah, when you use your opinion to attack people, that's where you're in the wrong.
Yeah, this is not your creation. This is not your vision. This is not your, like, masterpiece. You just need to learn how to accept someone else's work. It's no different than watching a movie or like a piece of art or something like that.
I mean, we're content creators. We face this problem on the regular. Like, I get people like getting shit on my pages like, well, the solution is simple. Block me. Like, the end. You don't want to see my content, and I don't need your hatred. We both win.
If you don't want to block me, unfollow me. And then if for some reason I show up on your page, just hold the thing and then go, I don't want to see things from this user, or mute this user. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the same thing with any piece of material content. It literally is. Just do what you can to avoid it if you don't agree with it or like it.
It's again, it's just frustrating to see that people.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to generalize. I don't mean to say like everybody, but there are select few people who just don't want to have their, and I don't mean to bring something else up, but it's kind of like the people who ended up not liking WandaVision because their theories were not correct.
Yeah.
It's the same people who were pissed off that the time loop wasn't their theory and it didn't win,
Like, the whole point of having theories is to wait and see if you're right or wrong. Like, that is it.
Yeah, and if you're wrong, who cares? Like, okay, you know what? I really thought my theory was going to take off. It didn't, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, like, I remember because like I first read the Attack on Titan manga, like right at the gap between seasons 2 and 3. And, in the latest chapter at that time was chapter 90 something. If I'm not...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started it on that too. I think I started at like 92.
Yeah, but I started reading the manga at like chapter 70 something because, I just wanted to like reflect on everything that I knew. Like, and I wanted to see how canon it was to the source material, how well it adapted. And it was adapted really well. I mean, they skipped like a couple of minor details, but as far as the story goes, it wasn't, that big of an effect. Yeah. But that's what I love about the way they kept the anime. They adapted it so well, and they kept as many of the key details as possible. And that's important, to keep all the key details of the story, so that way everything feels earned.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the most successful part of the series. Everything felt earned.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's just it goes to show that, like, no matter how good your stuff is, no matter how like intensive it is, no matter how well done it is, someone's always going to hate on it. And it's interesting because as I say that, you can also think about the series itself. No matter how well thought out your plan is, someone is always going to hate what you're doing. And that is exactly what Aaron did.
Yeah.
He planned everything out, and people are still going to hate on him. My hat is off to this amazing man who gave us an amazing series.
I mean, I have like the biggest...
My hat is off.
Yeah. I have like the biggest love-hate for Isayama right now because, like, like you said, literally such an amazing series. It will go up in history as one of the best. Like, if ever they decide to make another official Big 3, they should include this. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know that this would be, because this isn't a shonen. This is a seinen anime where like, because shonen is more like the hero's always gonna win. You
Yeah.
know that Naruto's gonna win no matter what.
Yeah.
You know that Doctor Stone. You know that Senku is gonna like somehow come out on top always. But like, and I saw a video that totally like got it for me. Shonen anime is like real life Harry Potter. You know
Oh,
Harry's gonna win. You always know Harry's gonna win. He may get maimed, he may like whatever, but he's always gonna come out on top.
he may die and come back.
Yeah. Seinen anime is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if you like this character. I'm gonna kill him because this is my story, and it doesn't matter if they're the main character. It's still gonna be the way that I want it to be.
Robert Kirkman.
I
Yes.
hate going back to him because I stopped
It's-
watching The Walking Dead and I
it's
stopped reading The
so
Walking
true.
Dead. But it's so true. You just keep going back.
Like, have you seen Invincible?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes,
God,
I mean,
that exact thing. Like,
that could be another podcast.
yeah, that can be another thing altogether. But yeah, we'll save that for another episode of this series. But yeah, like,
and that's
so
what it
much.
is,
And like when Porco died. Wait, is it Porco or Pac? Yeah, Pac. When Pac like came out of his Jaw Titan and pretty much fed himself to Falco.
Yep.
And like I thought that was kind of like dumb for a minute, but then I realized he was acting in the heat of a situation. He knew he wasn't going to be able to fight anymore. He knew he didn't stand a chance where he was. He knew he was going to die anyway, and then the Jaw Titan would have been lost. So he thought, better to hand it off to somebody that's close to me or close enough to me. That way we at least stand a chance.
Or can you look at it like this? Maybe Aaron made him do that.
Oh, right, because they needed Falco's jaw to fly around and
Exactly.
motherfucker,
Right?
we're getting woke over this shit. Like,
And that's that. Remember, he told Armin. He said, Birdie wasn't meant to die yet.
That's why the Smiling Titan walked.
Smiling Titan. Yeah, she walked right by him, and I remember watching the show and being like, and even reading the manga, I was like, wait, but why didn't she eat him? Because like that's their main purpose. That's Titan's main purpose of eating humans is because they want to find one of the 9 Titans so that they can become human again.
Yeah,
That's their innate ability. Like that's what they want to do. So why did she walk by one of that? And then he like in chapter 139, he totally like blows our mind. And the craziest thing is that he is the reason why his mother died.
like it really is. Like he pretty much planned his mother's death so to give himself motivation. Like
but I mean, there's so many like things, and how people can say that they don't like the way that it ended, it blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind.
And I love how like literally every episode is dependent of each other, which is pretty much key for most animes, most stories. Like you have to have dependence in every moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like there has to be proper build up, proper domino effect. And even though the dominoes like went to like several other different angles, they were all lined up towards the same end.
Yep.
And that was like one of my favorite things about the series. And like I said before, like how like I don't remember if we discussed it in this bit, but like that scene where Eren was at the table with Armin and Mikasa and he kicked the shit out of Armin, told Mikasa he hated her, that had to have hurt him a lot more than anybody. Because we remember when he was in that brain world with Armin and and on the same timeline but in a separate instance, he was doing that with Mikasa.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's told that he loved both of them all the while. And he was literally in tears over everything that happened and over those last moments. And the fact that and Mikasa got a kiss goodbye, that made my heart sink in the best way. Like
I loved that moment where like Armin beat the shit out of him in the dream. Well, not really beat the shit out of him, but punched him in the face.
yeah.
And he was like, please don't give me this bullshit. Like, be honest with me. And he was like, you're right. I do love Mikasa. Like I want to be with her. But and just that in itself, that real moment of him you know, being him and actually being upfront with his friend just showed like his humanity and how tough it was for him and how like I don't know. It makes me happy to like talk about this because like it's so well done and like you just see this sacrifice that this poor freaking idiot guy did not just for all of his people but like for his friends. His main
Yeah.
motivation was his friends.
Yeah, like he wanted to protect, like, his main motivation, well his main goal, ridding the world of Titans, but his motivation, protecting everybody he loves, protecting everyone closest to him, making sure he never lost anybody ever again. And even though he did along the way, he still met his goal. I mean, and like we said earlier, through some massively fucked up means, but the ends definitely justify the means in this case. If you
Again, in this case, yes.
yeah, if you ask me, the ends justify the means in this case.
I agree with that very much.
Like, I could not be happier with everything that has happened. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have loved for Eren to have somehow lived and, be with Mikasa. But at the same time, you got to look at it realistically. If he stayed alive, everybody would have just seen him as a monster.
He is the monster and he is the villain, and that's exactly what it is. Like no one, he would have never been able to live a life.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in truth, he was just the anti-hero. He was literally his own antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
He was his own antagonist for that point. And that's what really made him such a genuine character. Like, I have to, like, how I do my character analysis videos. Like, yep. I have to wait for the anime to end to do anybody else for Attack on Titan because there's so much shit happening. Like, and let's not even, like, Hanji, the way she went out, oh my god.
I don't want to talk about this.
I'm sorry, but still, like, she was my other best girl next to Sasha. But like, and I just love it so much. How dedicated she was to like helping everybody out. Like, she may have been crazy, she may have been a little too, loopy around Titans, but in the end of it, she served her purpose as commander.
1000%.
Yeah.
I mean, she did everything that she was supposed to do above and beyond the call of duty, and she did it well, and she did it, like to a T. And you can say the same thing about Pixis.
Yeah.
He went out on the boat, like, or on the ship, to stop everybody from. Don't you remember?
Wait, Pixis?
Yeah.
Wait, do you mean Shadis?
No.
Wait, he died with are you talking?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
he died with Magath because they blew up the ship. Yeah.
Yeah, but like he even redeemed himself.
Yeah. And then, and even with that, Flock still managed to catch up with him. And Flock, that dude popped off. Like,
there's nobody I hate more than that awful human being.
Like just when you thought Gabi was like the pinnacle of evil in that series, like, no. The way he pulled that, no.
Yeah.
No.
Anime watchers, just get ready. You're gonna have a new person to hate.
Oh my god, are you gonna hate him? Like, I hate him and I love him because, like, remember how he was at the end of season 3? He was literally like a coward shitting his pants behind a brick, and all over.
Like, he found himself when they were like getting their awards. Like, man, like piss off. We're sitting there fighting our asses off, and you're like, oh, Erwin should have been the one we saved. Why? No. Like,
yeah,
why? Because you think that? Nah, man.
Like, there's so many characters that just pop off over in season 4, and like. And when the big Titan raid happens in Shinganshina, like, good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when Zeke jumps over the wall and goes, "Rah!" and the big Titan raid, like right there, as soon as I saw that scream text, I was like, oh, no. And then I turn the page and I'm just like, oh, no. I'm just so ready to see all of this animated, to see what goes down. Just, oh, my God. I cannot wait to see all of this. Like the way that what am I trying to say? Like, that's my point. I'm lost for words right now, just thinking about it. And I hope they give Mappa I hope Mappa was given an appropriate time window, because we have literally half a year.
Mm-hmm.
We have half a year's worth of time, maybe more, and we have till January of 2022. And that's
No. Oh yeah. But I really feel like it's going to be released December 2021.
I would well, I mean, I don't know. When they announced it, it said like at the end.
It said winter, but winter kind of works the same way as video games. So December is the start of winter, because remember that this season 4 got released December,
Oh yeah,
and it was winter 2021.
Oh yeah, and that's right. Then, as time windows go, they typically go by majority, and winter can go all the way into, like, to the late February to early March. So
Yeah, so it can be anywhere from December
Yeah.
2021 to March 2022.
yeah, and part 1 had what, 25 episodes? How many is this one gonna have to like sum all of that up?
No, part 1 only had 16, right?
16? Oh wait, I'm thinking season 3 again still. But yeah, 16. But
Season 1 is 24 episodes. Season 2 was 26, I think. Season 3 was 24, and then season 4 was 16.
so, but you gotta wonder, like, if the number of episodes is gonna change or if they're gonna keep it even, like, for the 2-part scenario. Like,
I mean, they left it open to where it's like, oh, really, like that's where everything really like starts going
Yeah.
down, and that whole fight that's going to commence.
and if you think about, like, and this is thinking in terms of, like, dialogue, the pacing of the words for the speech, the fight scenes incorporated, and like putting all those factors together as far as timing goes. Like, it could easily sum up like 2 or 3 chapters in one episode with appropriate timing.
Mm-hmm.
But, because, like, some chapters are shorter than others. And so you never know in the end.
Yeah.
We just have to wait and see.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited.
I'm definitely got some hype built for it. And we hope that you guys too. And, yep, so... Oh, we've been at this for almost 50 minutes, but yeah. All right. So yeah, right now we're going to cut it off here. Thank you guys for coming by and watching. Yep. This has been Johnny Wolf and SpanishJ. We look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.
Hey.